From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 27th, 2019. We open with a spate of fires in southern Israel today, ignited by incendiary balloons launched from Gaza over the security fence. According to Israel's fire and rescue services and local governments, at least 30 fires had been started in the area by 6 p.m. local time, which reportedly would make today the largest number of fires started by Gazan balloons in a single day since Palestinians began launching the devices over a year ago. The Peace to Prosperity Conference in Bahrain concluded yesterday, and senior White House advisor Jared Kushner hailed the gathering as a success.
The overall consensus is that this is a very executable plan if we're able to get a political solution and if we have the right governance structure in place. There is so much thirst and excitement about investing in the West Bank and Gaza and Jordan and Egypt from the global community if we can create the right conditions for that to happen.
The Palestinians boycotted the conference and protested against it. Ynet reports that in a meeting today with visiting Chilean President Sebastián Piñera, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas said that a political solution must come first, saying the rights of the Palestinian people are not for sale. Kushner has said that the political component of the U.S. peace plan would be coming soon. The Chilean president also met today with Israeli leaders. Piñera met in Jerusalem with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and with Israel's President Reuven Rivlin. There was a bit of an uproar when Piñera toured the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City on Tuesday with senior Palestinian officials, which Israel's foreign ministry said was in violation of diplomatic procedures as well as of a previous agreement between the two countries. Rivlin's office said that Piñera apologized for the incident, saying the visit with the Palestinian officials was a private one. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo arrived in Israel today for a quick 24-hour visit. He met with Netanyahu about economic cooperation, telling the prime minister he was particularly interested in applying Israeli driverless vehicle technology to New York City's train and subway system. Cuomo met earlier today with Rivlin, who called the governor a true friend to Israel. When announcing his trip, Cuomo said it was one of solidarity with the Jewish community and the people of Israel. And former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, is in Israel. Haley visited the Western Wall in Jerusalem yesterday and the U.S. Embassy today, later arriving at the Prime Minister's residence in the capital, where Netanyahu thanked the former envoy for her staunch support.
The entire people of Israel appreciate the extraordinary way that you represented our alliance between America and Israel and the way you defended Israel and the truth, which is the same thing in the UN. You are a great champion of this alliance, and you have the enduring gratitude of all the people of Israel.
Well, results of the first poll of how former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak would fare in the upcoming Israeli elections are in. As we reported to you, the 77-year-old political and military veteran announced yesterday that he was coming out of retirement to form a new party to try and unseat Netanyahu. Israel's Channel 13 News surveyed Israelis soon after the announcement and said Barak's party would win 6 seats if the September elections were held today. The survey also showed Netanyahu's Likud and the rival Blue and White Party with 32 seats each, and the Joint Arab List with 12 seats. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, called for action after a meeting that we reported to you about yesterday of the UN General Assembly against anti-Semitism and other forms of hate. Danon called on the world body to produce an annual investigative report on anti-Semitism and to appoint a special envoy to combat the rising phenomenon. Over 90 countries were present at the meeting yesterday, including representatives from Syria, Egypt, Turkey, Iran, and Morocco. And as we mentioned, special guests included Poway Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein, as well as the daughter and sister of Lori Gilbert Kay, who was killed in the attack on the Poway synagogue this past April. A monument was dedicated this week for the victims of another tragic attack on a synagogue. The 11 Jewish worshipers killed at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh last October were honored at a memorial unveiled Tuesday night at the East Brunswick Community Arts Center in New Jersey. A garden at the site was also dedicated to the victims of bias violence. Support for the memorial came from Congregation Beth Or, the East Brunswick Jewish Center, Temple B'nai Shalom, Torah Links, Young Israel of East Brunswick, and the mayor of the township, Brad Cohen. A television miniseries telling of the tragic events that led to the 2014 Gaza war is coming to the U.S. this summer. Our Boys was filmed in Israel and is a co-production of Israeli production company Keshet International and HBO, directed by award-winning Israeli Joseph Cedar. It begins with the events of June the 12th of 2014, when 3 Jewish Israeli teenagers, Gilad Sher, Eyal Yifrach, and Naftali Frankel, were kidnapped and murdered by members of terror group Hamas, and the subsequent kidnapping and murder of Palestinian teenager Muhammad Abu Kader by Israeli extremists. The show debuts on HBO in August. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, June the 27th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study. At 8, CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, discusses the rise of anti-Semitism and how the ADL is fighting it. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with Holocaust historian Professor Deborah Lipstadt on the dangers of contemporary anti-Semitism, which she addresses in her new book, Anti-Semitism Here and Now. At 10:30, author Anita Diamond talks about her book, The Boston Girl. And coming up right after this newscast, it's the ILTV program, The Jewish World. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 27th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.